Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Lunch and Learn today on growth mindset. My name is Tiffany Jell. I'm one of the psychology staff here at the board, and I am here in a supporting role for my dear friend who is going to introduce herself. Go for it.
Hello, my name is Methany. I am currently a psychology practicum student with the board. That's me. And I'm very passionate about this topic. I did my research. I did like external research outside of my schooling, and this was on growth mindset and how it kind of really changes and for the long run. It's a skill that will go be with your child for as long as they pretty much live, if done correctly and if taught at a young age. And we'll kind of go into why that is and how you can kind of incorporate these into your everyday life. For sure, you've heard of it before. You probably practice it with your kids already. But sometimes it's always good to label words and label things you do so that you know, okay, I know this is like a growth mindset moment or things like that, so that you're more aware and can put it into practice as you need. Okay. So, as Tiffany mentioned, this webinar or presentation will be there for everybody to kind of look back on. But what is a growth mindset? Has anybody heard of that before? With a show of hands, if possible. Or yes, no, maybe so. I can't really. Oh, okay, perfect. Amber, then you can you can chime in whenever you need, especially if you maybe put it into practice. But a growth mindset is the belief that you're capable of doing hard things. It is made of the thoughts that you tell yourself. For instance, I am ready for the challenge. I can try again until I get this right. It's okay if I make a mistake. Now, this seems like kind of commonsensical, but this is not. It's not what we're like our primary instinct to do is not to say, I'm ready for the challenge, or it's okay if I make a mistake. Our primary instinct is to kind of be like, oh my God, I must be so bad at this. I should never try again. Or, um, I tried it and I tried it again, and it's really not working, might not be for me. And I don't in my before like intentionally practice growth mindset, I am ready for the challenge was not something I would ever say. I would kind of be anxious and be kind of not excited for that challenge to come or a test to come, things like that. So it's made of the thoughts you tell yourself. But as parents, as individuals that work with kids, we can always teach these to kids because kids are still learning, and we have to, in a way, kind of fight with those innate instincts that come in that tell us we can't do something or it's not okay if we make a mistake. So, growth mindset looks like studying, training, asking questions, setting goals. It sounds like I can't do that yet, but I can learn. If I keep practicing, I will get better at this. Um, okay, I don't know, I can't see. And the last one was supposed to say, I'll give it a go. So when we are working with what we're working against is a fixed mindset. So ha a growth mindset is something. I actually have a nice diagram here. A growth mindset views challenges as opportunities to learn. It embraces constructive feedback. It focuses on the process, not just the end result. It it helps people to be inspired by others' success, learn and grow from others of like failures and your own failures, and also always step out of the comfort zone. Believe that talent is ever improving. Now, a fixed mindset is not the complete opposite of that. It's more so in how we view a challenge or a mistake or feedback. So a fixed mindset, we're avoiding those challenges. If things are too hard, we're gonna we're not going to try. Refusing to receive criticism or feedback. I don't think this is just kids. This is almost anybody in the world. We cry a little, we take criticism or feedback, even though it's constructive, as being something that is more so attributing to, me. I am not good at this. That's why they're bringing this up. It's a focus on proving yourself. I'm going to prove this to people that I can do this, which is not a bad thing. But if you think about it, proving yourself to others kind of takes away from why you are doing that why you're doing that task. Maybe you're doing that task to make your parents happy, but then that intrinsic motivation to that comes from your internal motivation to do things kind of goes away, and you kind of lose track of why you're doing it or who you're doing it for. um Feeling threatened by other success. Now this is a big thing with the fixed mindset, where you necessarily are not you're not happy for others. Whenever you hear somebody say, I got into a master's program. Oh, I'm still waiting to hear from mine. I'm probably not going to get in. Why did they hear back uh quicker than me? Right? It's more so fixed mindsets take failures and feedback and mistakes and put it onto yourself, and put it on to I cannot do this, versus a growth mindset looks at it externally. The reason that I made this mistake was because there are certain things that didn't work out, or there are certain things that I still need to work on. So kind of attributing it outside of yourself. It's working against something that in psychology we call the fundamental attribution error. Tiffany, please jump in whenever you need. But the fundamental attribution error technically says that um, the best way I know how to explain it is through an example. If you see a child on the street crying, um, you might think, wow, crying because their parents yelling at them, you might think, wow, that parent's mean, right? That's not necessarily the case. If I tell you the context of it, that parent just had that child run into the street and they're, yelling at them to make sure that that doesn't happen again, you're attributing it to more external circumstances rather than personal circumstances. So the fixed mindset tells you you can't do something. The growth mindset says, yes, I can. I just need to work on these other things and maybe give it another try. Um, because what kids see are people who are the pinnacle of their careers. Taylor Swift is the best singer ever. Um, I think this is Lionel Messi, or Ronaldo. Please, if somebody knows, let me know. I know it's one of the two. I don't remember what I searched up when I wrote it. I'm not a soccer fan, obviously. But oh, I think somebody's telling me who it is. It's Messi. Thank you. Oh, and the questions I will answer later. But yes, so that's Lionel Messi. So, they are exposed to people who are the pinnacle of their careers. They didn't see what these people went through to become the pinnacle of their careers. It all appears effortless, and then it just happened. But the reality of success is the zigzag road up the mountain. So the fixed mindset really gives emphasis to the journey rather than the end result. Sorry, not the fixed mindset, the growth mindset. The fixed mindset says, you know what? It's like no mistake should be made. No, I just need to get from point A to point B without any of those the failures and the mistakes that you're gonna make just not being accounted for or given value to. So how can we kind of redirect or jig our mindsets, or what we say to our kids? So saying something like, you are so smart sounds like, yes. But once again, it doesn't give value to the hard work that your child did to get an A on that test, or to get that like a champion cup for running. I don't know. I'm not really good at sports. I'm just trying to make it a lot more inclusive. But you are so smart, or you are so great, or you are so amazing at this. Yes, they are, but saying you are so smart. I can see you worked so hard on this, and that's really paid off. right? So you're giving value to that journey. It's so it's something like, it's okay. Maybe you're just not cut out for this, right? And maybe you are not parents that say this, but there are parents that say that. And it is very validating to the kid. Yes, you're right. It was hard, but instead saying something like, it seems like it's time to try a new strategy would help them to know that making it's something not working out for the first or second or third time doesn't mean that they shouldn't keep trying again. But you also need to find a balance. Like, as a parent, you need to find a balance of like, okay, it's the 50th time my kid is trying this. Maybe they are just not cut out for this. How do I kind of mention this or talk to them about this in a way that isn't going to let them know that there's something that they're bad at or there's something that they shouldn't try. You're natural at that. Now, that is you, kids can have innate talents, and you can have artists and you can have people like footballers. You can have people who are really great at math, and that is innate talent. But once again, innate talent doesn't work if you don't work hard. Lionel Messi could have been the greatest soccer player, but if he had never been given the resources or have never went and actually practiced or given that coaching, you can't necessarily tell me that he would be the best soccer player ever. Those resources, that journey still matters. So saying, I like watching you do that. Like, your hard work's paying off. You're becoming a natural at that, right? You can still say that stuff, but really value what comes before and what comes after. Oh, this is something I hear a lot. You did that so quickly. Oh, that looks so easy for you. That in itself, like as nice as it is to hear, it's invalidating because sometimes you might have siblings, right? My main thing is you might have two siblings. One is just catches on to math really easily, while the other one kind of struggles with it. Saying, wow, you did that so quickly and easily can really invalidate the other sibling. Like, oh, math is supposed to be easy. Or even the siblings who's good at math, like, oh, you know what? It's fine. Like, I don't, like, math just comes so easily to me. I probably, like, I don't even know why I study. Like, that's something that, if like personally I've been told that. And like for me, I was like, oh, you know what? Math is gonna come easily. It did until we get to, something where it's like physics. And you're like, oh, this is gonna be so easy, and it doesn't. And it kind of falls on you, and you're like, maybe I'm so bad at math. Like, you are not really giving that value to the working hard that you're doing, the asking questions, the practice every other hour. So instead of saying like, it looks like that was too easy for you, let's find you something challenging so your brain can go. This is from these examples are from a website. I really didn't like that either. Just saying you did great. That was I like your heart. That was some great hard work right there. Do you find that to be a little bit too easy for you? Would you like something more challenging? Should we try something out? Kind of wording it that way. Um, Oh, this is something that maybe you can talk to teachers about or even yourselves. Like, are you paying attention in class? Now, this is not something we just ask kids. I asked my partner that, like, are you paying attention to me? Or like, are you listening to me? It's just saying, like, did you, and I've kind of now stopped from going, like, because it makes me like mad, like, yes, I am paying attention. Or instead asking, like, did you understand what I was trying to say? Uh, or for kids especially, what strategies can I do to help my kid out? This is more so for teachers, but um so just kind of changing up the way you say things is the main way that you can encourage growth mindsets. But there's things like you can't just start doing that. You need a place as like, step one. What do I do? Where do I start? Well, develop a language that regularly promotes a growth mindset. And to do this, you can read books around growth mindset. The one that Tiffany and I were talking about was The Gift of Failure. There's a lot of growth mindset podcasts, encourage more growth mindset centered TV shows. The ones The one that I have seen recently is Fancy Nancy, which is or Bluey. Not for like or Arthur. Arthur is a really great one for older kids, where they it that it is about trying, like trying and trying more and trying more, and then under like actually having conversations about what didn't work. So those are great TV shows. And then mental contrasting, I'll come back to that. Marvelous mistakes. So trial and improvement. We all go through it. Really just saying to your kids when they make a mistake, wow, okay, you know what? How about give yourself another two mistakes, try again. Just kind of saying that mistakes are beautiful. It happens. The one thing that I say is penicillin. Penicillin came from a mistake, like, and now it's saving the world, saving people everywhere. So they can be great. And also mistakes are just things, are also you finding out how things don't work. Because, we something in research that we learn a lot is no results are actually results as well. Just you can talk about why things didn't work. And that's just a step up. Because if you know what doesn't work, you're not going to try that again. Paying attention to working memory. Sometimes working memory looks at kind of how much information you can hold on to your mind at one point, and also working memory when you're working on a task or something like that, that's the one that's consolidating information. So making sure that you are putting into working memory that growth mindset language and that environment of the growth mindset that you're trying to build. Um, Modeling, prompting, and cluing or cueing. Um, this is it's not new. If you model something, your kids are going to be inspired and start modeling it back. Prompting, if you hear words like, "Oh man, that was so hard," saying like, "Yeah, things are hard, but you know what? You worked. I saw the hard work you did. That's the best. I saw that you did the best you could, and maybe next time we can look at some strategies." It's kind of prompting and queuing. Like, if you're kind of working on it and it's been a couple of months, you can be like, what was that? Was that a fixed thing that I was hearing, or like something like that, And then kind of helping them come up with their own way that they take in growth mindset. Let kids make mistakes and be okay with it. Um, and that's kind of hard sometimes as parents, as teachers, as adults. We think we know better. But listen to have that conversation with them. They have a lot more to add and they have a lot more insight than you might think. And as parents, you might know that. But something that I say to kind of I just did a presentation for a bunch of EAs, and I was saying is give them the spot to speak first. Like, hey, I understand that was a little like I understand. Okay, I know you're really sad about that dean in the classroom. How do you feel about that? Do you think you could have done something different, or do you think you can have done something better, do you want to try another strategy? Let them answer those questions instead of saying, "I think you need a tutor." They might, and they might come to that kind of, you can guide them towards that decision, but listen to their concerns. Why was it hard? Maybe the teacher, they don't get along with the teacher, or they have a bully in the classroom, right? So all these kind of other things also come into play. If you just let them say their piece, and then you kind of go next and make it a discussion. It's editing, more editing, editing again, putting it into place, edit again. It takes a while. Um, and encouraging with the school community to encourage a growth mindset comprehensively. Now, schools are really great at being being people that encourage growth mindsets, but consistency is really important. So if this is something that you're hoping to instill in your home, just kind of maybe having a conversation with whoever your child's primary teacher caregiver is, or EA, or just saying, hey, this is something that we're working on at home. If you could maybe just maybe just kind of be mindful of like that this is something that we're working on at home. Now, mental contrasting, this is a technique used to set and reach goals. It's more so about um, you have a desired goal, then you think about what needs to be done, and you also understand what is going to come in the way. What are some obstacles that might come in the way? And then you kind of put it into if-then statements. So if if I um if I fall down during soccer, then I'm just going to get up again, make sure I'm okay, and then go keep playing. Just it's a very simple example. Or if I want to play the piano, then I must practice every night. Okay, so that's the desire, that's what needs to be done. What are things that can come in the way? If I get distracted by my iPad, then I can ask mom to say, hey, mom, like remind me at 6 p.m. That it's piano practicing time, right? So kind of that's a conversation you guys can have together about what the goals are for your child at that moment, and what are the things that would need to be done to kind of make it a reality, and what are the things that can be done to make it to get rid of those obstacles in the way. Um, so the WHOOP method, that's the one that's mainly for children. It's wish, a meaningful challenge, and feasible wish or goal. Then you have the outcome, what is the best result or feeling that you will get from accomplishing your wish. So you have a start and you have an end. Great. But the growth mindset or mental contrasting doesn't necessarily, we don't need the end and the start. We need what's in between. That's where we come up with the obstacles and the plan if those obstacles arise. Um, there's more information about the WHOOP method that I can provide you guys if you want to. This is something that has been researched to work and has been put in place at many schools. Not too sure about any of the schools that I work with, but when I work at I live in London and I work with the Thames Valley School Board, and that's something that is a really big implementation in their school. So it works. I've seen it. So after mentally contrasting, you're improving your cognitive focus and energy, and then you are also making sure that that focus isn't going to be ending up with failure. Because one of the things, it's New Year's, you're like, I'm going to go to the gym to be healthy. All right. What happens when, you start working again? Like I'm back to working full time. Where do I find the time? What happens when that happens? So this is just a way of making sure that we make those goals, but you also say to ourselves, there's some days that it's gonna fail. What are we gonna do then? And here's just some mindset language that we can use. So learning effort, perseverance, good mistakes, thinking and thinking, persistence. We kind of covered all this. Now, why does growth mindset work? Well, the brain it's a ever-changing being. It changes with more connections you make. The more you start off with no friends, you make more friends and you make more friends, and now you know what a healthy relationship looks like. That's because our brains are super malleable. We call it neuroplasticity, and that's a great thing about the brain. And that's why we grow and we develop and we learn. We change the way we do things, it kind of becomes second nature. If you are coming from a country that primarily drives on the right, and you come to Canada and you're primarily driving on the left, the second nature, you'll kind of have some trouble with navigating, but your brain can fix it for yourself in a jiffy. Maybe in 2 weeks you're okay with driving on the left, or maybe it doesn't even take 2 weeks for some, if you're good at driving, like me. Oh, that was not growth mindset, but I'm learning to drive. There we go. So the brain is more malleable than we once thought. So teaching our kids that they actually have control over growing their brains through the actions they take is empowering, because sometimes it seems like, we're getting old and we're growing up, and we don't really have much control over when we grow up and how we can do this. This is something actually that a lot of kids find empowering, like, oh, I can change my brain. I didn't know that. Or like I can change the way I think, and that becomes something that even in their own way, like it becomes second nature for them to think, I just need to try again. Tell your children when they work hard, that's the feel like now this is this is a bit when I was writing it, I was not understanding that kids might not know the language, but tell your kids that when they work hard, that's the feeling of their brain making connections. So there's like it's like a connections being made, and more connections being made, it's that the brain is strengthening. It's like you're working out a muscle. And with that, the connections that you make, the connections that might be mistakes, are also strengthening your brain, right? So, the more you make mistakes, the more you learn, the more you grow, the more you fail, your brain is still growing and your brain is connecting. By believing in their ability to develop and improve, individuals are more inclined to engage in activities that challenge their existing skills and knowledge rather than going apart from it. This in turn stimulates the brain to reorganize and create new neural pathways, leading to increased learning and growth. So, growth mindset works to build those connections, make the brain stronger, and to make your primary pathway of realizing a mistake or coming towards a hard challenge being, I can do this, but things are gonna take time. And that's kind of what, you know, as kids grow older, things are gonna get harder. That's what you want your child to think, not, oh my goodness, my first relationship failed, so obviously I'm not good at having a relationship. No. Okay, that was hard and that was not working, but here are some things that I can do in my next one so that I'm not so that it could go a little bit better. So let's see. Yeah. The connection between neuroplasticity and a growth mindset lies in the fact that both concepts emphasize the malleability and potential for growth within individuals. And that's why the growth mindset is a well-researched term and a well-researched field. There's so much articles and peer reviewed or not, that kind of talk towards the value of teaching your children a growth mindset at a very young age, because right now it's the best time for them to learn those skills that will take them to the far future.